welcome back to another samurai video in the sun. Today I'm going to talk to you about my experiences with different wood finishes. It's probably one of the questions I get asked the most is what finish do I put on the wood, especially on my outdoor projects. So I don't know everything about finishes. I actually don't really know that much about finishes, but I've used several and some of them sucked and some of them are great. So I'm going to just share with you my experience. Take from it what you want. It's a sunny day. I thought I'd crack a crappy American beer and go for a walk. Come on. So first off, you can see my barn here. I used a Canadian product. I think it's made in Canada and it's called Timber Pro UV. I put 2 coats on it, and as soon as I installed my siding, essentially it all just washed off and started to go gray and get water stains and everything all over it. So Timber Pro in my books is a garbage finish if you're Canadian and you're thinking about using it. It's also ridiculously expensive, which led me to assume that it would be a really good quality finish, seeing it was like $80 a gallon. Turns out it's garbage. So I'm going to be refinishing this whole barn with the same oil that I put up on my house siding, all the cedar shingles. You can take a look up here. See, there's a product by Sherwin-Williams Paints called New Cedar. It's a wipe on, let it soak in, wipe off oil finish. It preserves the natural color and enhances the natural color of the wood really well. I haven't read all the specs on it. I don't think it's necessarily designed for like decks, even though I did put it on my front porch. It's more of a siding finish, so good against the sun and the elements, but not a super high wear product, I don't think. Depends, maybe if you put a ton of coats on it, it does. But as far as finishes go, that's right now one of my top 3 finishes as far as the color, easy to apply, and I bought all my shingles pre-finished from a cedar siding guy on the mainland who essentially does pre-finished shingles and sells them to contractors all over the lower mainland. That is the oil that he puts on his shingles, so I'm kind of banking that a guy that's selling siding pre-finished with this oil for a living is probably he believes in the product and it's going to be a good product. That's at least what I'm hoping. So far it looks great, no signs of wear. It's been about, I don't know, 3 or 4 months, so hard to tell right now, but it looks great when you put it up. Now, probably the best finish for exterior applications is pretty undeniably a finish called Sickens Cetol 1. That is what I used on these timbers, the stairs, and the railings for my deck, as well as the pergola. It's a 3-part combination, so it's Sickens Cetol 1. I think they've rebranded it to like Sickens 1, 2, 3. So there's a first coat that you put on, Cetol 1, and then you get a second product, Cetol, which is Sickens Cetol 2 or 2, and then 3 is the finished product. So it's a 3-coat system. It builds up a really nice finish. Kind of got a bit of a gloss to it, really tough finish, and so far it looks exactly the same as when I first got it on the timbers. So it holds up remarkably well. Every maybe 3 or 4 years, it's a good idea to rub it down with some steel wool and put another top coat on it. But so far it's been 2 years, I think, since I did all my railings and pergola here, and there's absolutely no signs of the finish breaking down or fading or peeling or chipping or anything like that. But I will say that the negative for the Sickens is the color. It's really hard to get away from the orangey color that the Sickens puts on the wood. Some people might like that. It really brightens up the color, but as far as cedar goes, it kind of, in a way, spoils the natural color, in my opinion. So this is Cetol or Sickens Natural. They've got a number of different colors. The one I used to use before was Teak, which had a bit of more of a browny color to it, less orange. Then I just went to the natural for some reason. I thought it was the most natural looking finish. but it really does make things look orange, especially when you kind of put it off against the the siding, which is a really natural color of the cedar. You can see the shingles and then the difference. It's both exact same type of wood, but there's quite a color difference in the sickens. So the finish lasts great. It's really durable. The only spots where I've seen wear is kind of right on my nosings here, which is, you know, all the guys that were working on the house were walking up and down with their work boots. So that's obviously gonna rub off. So I need to kind of give that a sand and recoat the treads. But other than that, it looks great. And it's just the color that I can't really get behind on the sickens. So now the other finish that I've dabbled with was one on my exterior deck furniture here. I thought that it'd be a good idea to kind of go with something natural. I know that they use it in the shipbuilding industry, and it's called Teak Oil. A lot of people put it on like the insides of like wood boats and stuff, so I thought, oh man, that should be a really reliable finish. Other people were saying, it's pretty high maintenance. I was like, I don't mind recoating it every once in a while. It has a really nice natural look. Now the teak oil I put on here, a couple coats, looked great when I put it on, but as you can see, wherever there was rain kind of splashing around the edge of the deck, and these were kind of left out in the weather, the oil is faded, and I've got mold spores that have landed on the surface and started to stain the wood with mold. So I'm gonna have to scrub that all down with like bleach and water. Hopefully that'll take out some of the staining, and then I'm gonna have to recoat it with a better product. I'm gonna use the Sherwin-Williams oil, and hopefully that'll hold up a little bit better. So definitely not impressed with the teak oil. I put it on the softening here as well, which should be fine because it's away from the UV, it's away from any weather. It should hold up well there, but anywhere where you're gonna be getting rain or exposure to the sun and the rain, do not use teak oil. Maybe it works better on teak, like an exotic hardwood. This is a softwood cedar, red cedar. Does not work well on cedar, so stay away from teak oil. If you want the most low maintenance finish, it would be sickens, but make sure you play around with the colors on the sickens and get the best color that you can, because if you just throw it on there and everything turns orange, you kind of be bummed out. That's what I am about all my beams right here. So I used the new Cedar by Sherwin-Williams on my hot tub as well. It seems to be holding up pretty well. Probably have to add another coat. I just put one coat on it, as well as the fence and my greenhouse. So I just love the look of it. It's the perfect color finish. I just hope it holds up really well over time. Now I used the new cedar finish on the deck here as well. I wanted the color to match the siding as closely as possible. It looks great so far, not seeing any wear, but my kids were getting crazy with the hose, as boys like to do, and they were spraying this whole deck down. So I decided to take the hose away from them and spray them all down to teach them a lesson. But I did not mop up all the water, and if you come look close, you can see that there's some water staining on the deck here. Now I haven't given it a scrub yet, but I'm hoping maybe just some steel wool or a scrub with soap and water will take some of that water staining out. But so I'm kind of on the fence as to whether or not this new cedar rub on rub off oil finish by Sherwin-Williams is good for like horizontal, deck surfaces, stuff with a lot of traffic. I think it's more designed just for siding. So use it at your own risk on a deck surface. It looks amazing, but we'll see. I'm gonna have to scrub this all down, see if the water staining comes off, maybe add another couple coats to it and see how it holds up over time. But so far, as far as the look is concerned, the new Cedar by Sherwin-Williams is my favorite exterior finish. If you're really focused on durability, stick with the sickens. Stay away from the natural stuff like teak oil and linseed oil mixed with turpentine is another one that I've tried. It definitely soaks into the wood really well, dries fairly quickly when you mix linseed oil 50-50 with turpentine. It's kind of like I was saying, that's what the Amish use all the time. it fades pretty quickly. Like you need to put a new coat on every like 6 months. Like twice a year you have to recoat to really keep the finish looking good, or else it starts to dry out and look thirsty for more oil. As well as I noticed that there was some staining, same kind of mold spore staining with the linseed oil. So the natural oils that don't have like the VOC, whatever chemicals mixed in that, you know, toughen up a finish, help it dry faster, keep it from getting attacked by like, you know, fungus and mold and that sort of stuff. Essentially, we like the old oils because they're natural and they're good for the environment, but as far as maintenance and durability, they just suck. You just gotta have lots of delicious, harmful chemicals mixed in there if you really want to have a finish that's gonna last and not need a ton of maintenance. So I get where all the hippies are coming from, but from a standpoint of a homeowner and a renovator, carpenter, tradesman, just give me the chemicals. I want the chemicals, lots of chemicals, the most chemicals, the best chemicals. It just makes a better finish, okay? You can't deny it. I'm sorry if that offends you. Get over it. You're probably winning anyways because all the laws now don't allow us to use the good chemical finishes here in Canada anymore. So thanks for that, hippies. But yeah, before I just go on a rant about hippies and all this stupid crap they've done to this country, we're just gonna call it a day at that video, okay? So that's my take on wood finishes. That's my experience. Feel free to talk about your favorite wood finishes in the comments below so that people can kind of absorb as much information and get the information that they want. And you can bicker back and forth at each other and talk about hippies and, you know, do what all the comment sections do. Just get angry at each other and be dicks. Okay? So have fun in the comment section. Oh yeah, and before you go, summertime, I'm about to go on holiday. Feel like I'd give you a little gift. Boom. Sets of free plans. There's like 5 sets or something like that, maybe even more, of my most popular plans. That beer's already hitting me. Of my most popular woodworking projects. So if you want plans, to click the link up in the corner or in the description box below. Go get yourself some free plans and enjoy the rest of your summer, okay? I'm out.